clock in, gon' clock in, clock in, gon' clock in, clock in, clock in. Yeah, it's time to go to work. You see the star on the field, you gon' meet D-Law. Thinking you an outlaw, we sending the predator. Jalen Smith scoop up the whole field, so how you gon' play here, bruh? If you release your dogs, we got a wolf hunter. LVE, tackling Dutchman coming. If you hungry and trying to eat like Zeke, we'll send in a taco to sweep you off your feet. Now you deep in the woods, plus we got a couple Collins. They say time and pressure make diamonds, the hot boy shining. Clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. Gon' clock in, clock in, gon' clock in, clock in, gon' clock in, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. Top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. Gon' clock in. They say, defense wins championships. We're here in Dallas, we got a top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. Gon' clock in, gon' clock in, gon' clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. See my defense, they on the field right now. Yeah, my defense, they yelling 3 and now. Yeah, my defense, they don't like your quarterback. So my defense, all trying to get them sacks. With the ball in the air, secondary go to work. Byron Jones, he be there, he be lying, he be lurking. If you get past him, Jeff Heath gon' hurt him. Put the ball down, go ahead and run it. I got a hot front four when they coming. Plus we got the best linebacker duo in the whole NFL. We the hot boys sizzling on fire, come to give your team hell. Clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. Go defense, go defense. Defense, gone, defense, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. I know I said at the beginning of this track, man, that we had like a top 10 or like a top 5. Hot boys gearing up to be triple D, you know what I'm saying? Clock Dallas doomsday defense. Listen what the hot boys tell them, man. Defense, put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat, yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat, yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Yeah, I smell fresh meat, yeah, we all eating. Clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. Gon' clock in, gon' clock in, gon' clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. See the star on the field, you gon' meet D-Law. Thinking you an outlaw, we sending the predator. Jalen Smith scoop up the whole field, so how you gon' play here, bruh? If you release your dogs, we got a wolf hunter. LVE, tackling Dutchman coming. If you hungry and trying to eat like Zeke, we'll send in a taco to sweep you off your feet. Now you deep in the woods, plus we got a couple Collins. They say time and pressure make diamonds, the hot boy shining. Clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. in, gon' clock in, clock in, it's time to go to work. Top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work. Clock in, it's time to go to work.
Thank you for watching West Coast. This is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go Cowboys.
This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us with Dallas Cowboy Scout.
Appreciate it.
My man West Coast from this boat.
Thank you for watching West Coast.
Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know, it's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
Did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Summertime in the LBC.
Dang, y'all like, dang, West Coast up here chilling. Ooh, whole world is going crazy right now. The Dallas Cowboys is playing the New England Patriots, and the whole world is going crazy. I know. Ooh, West Coast just up here jamming, right? I know. Just no respect for his opponents, right? Nah, it's not that I ain't got no respect for him. It's just, I think we're gonna be okay. I think we're gonna be okay. Let me get up on Instagram. Instagram, you know, Graham. All right, so what's up with y'all? You got some folks live on Facebook. What up with you? What's up with you, Wendy? How you doing this evening? How you doing? I seen you out of Facebook jail. How you doing? Hey, shout out to all my folks out behind the wall, because I already know how it is when you behind that wall, man. I'm talking about that Facebook. Hey, you see I'm rocking the throwback D-Law. Found this in my closet. You're like just in time, right? Found this in my closet. But hey, shout out to everybody that's behind the wall. You already know what it is. If you on Facebook jail and you can't comment, you can't inbox, you can't really do much. All you can do is watch. Salute to y'all. I know how it is. I done been there before. You're going to get out and then you're going to go right back in. I already know. You can't stay out of trouble. What's up with you, Lopez? What's up with you, Matthew? What up with you, Peter? Latanya, how you doing? I know I got some folks over there on YouTube, too, that's rocking with me. Because y'all always rocking with me on YouTube. So let me get these folks up. I got some people rocking with me on IG, too. How you doing? This is Keon Brown. What up with you? What up with you, Beverly? What up with you, Lily 0100? Purple Lee. Hey, y'all got some crazy names on IG. Like, y'all make a blogger job hard on that IG. That's all I'm saying, man. Because y'all names be crazy. I be like, I know that's not what they mama named them. But you already know. If his mama named him Cleveland, if his mama named him Cassius, I'm going to call him Cassius. All right, let me see. Let me get up over here on, let me get up here on YouTube real quick. While I do that, all right, bam. So we up everywhere. All right, we up everywhere. Let me get back over here on Facebook. So what's up with you, Diane? What up with you? What up with you, Scout in the Dream? What's up with you? What up with you, Peter? I see you. Christian, what up? He says, thanks for streaming the Lions game. Hey. Come on, bruh. Keep that on the low. Keep that on the low. We was not streaming. No, we were not illegally streaming a Cowboy game on the internet. That is not what we was doing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? But hey, man, but don't trip. You know I got you, bruh. You know I got you, man. Hey, who else we got over here? We got some folks over here in YouTube land. Let me see some folks over here in YouTube land. What up with you? Dwayne Wright, I see you. Says, what up, family? What up with you, man? Got like 6 people over there. Hey, we rocking. So, hey, we going to do our shares real quick. Let's get everybody up in here, man. All right, 1, 2, 3, share. All right, bam. So we up in here. All right, bam. So yo, we're gonna start this game. We're gonna start this show off talking kind of like some updates. You know, you guys saw the first practice report. I think I posted that on the IG and I posted that on the Facebook. The only person, what up with you, big Trav? What up with you, man? The only person on there, what up with you, Atreus? It says, what up with you, man? The only person whose name that really kind of stood up out on the practice report to me was my boy Leo Collins. And he was on the practice report today, and it was as, I think if I'm not mistaken, it was he was limited or a D-not-P. So do not DNP means he wasn't able to practice. You know what I'm saying? So that was probably the only name that really stuck out to me. On the Patriots side, I ain't gonna lie, there was a name that stuck out to me, and that was Mohamed Sanu. That is their newly traded for wide receiver from Atlanta. Y'all remember he was a Billy Bad ASS in Cincinnati with the other guy we just played. Remember? Hey, let me tell you, on the low, Cincinnati Bengals had probably one of the best one of the best wide receiver cores on. Like they had Mohamed Sanu, they had AJ Green, and they had Marvin Jones, all on the same team. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, right? So yeah, but he went to Atlanta. He took big money. He took like $40 million. Went to Atlanta, and then while he was in Atlanta, you know, they drafted Ridley Riley last year, so he was pretty much, you know, a third wide receiver. So he got shot over there to New England. Now, Mohamed Sanu, man, he's a big target. One thing about Mohamed Sanu, if he does play, is, man, he really reminds me of freaking Michael Crabtree. You know, Michael Crabtree is a guy who does not have elite speed, don't even really have, and probably at this point in his career don't have like elite of nothing. But I'm gonna tell you something about Michael Crabtree and about that boy Sanu is, man, they have an uncanny way of finding ways of getting open inside zones and stuff like that. So, I mean, even you guys remember, if you've been rocking with me long enough, you guys remember that video I made on Michael Crabtree before we played him in the Raiders. We played the Raiders, and I told him straight out that was one of my first bold predictions, and that's like when I said something was gonna happen, and it really happened. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy. But I said Crabtree was gonna go off, and I said he was gonna have some touchdowns on us, and he did. You know what I'm saying? And the reason being, what up with your boss, Cowboy? I seen you blurping in. The reason being is because, you know, he's the same. Sanu's that same type of receiver. Like, you know what I'm saying? They may not kill you with a lot of their acrobatics, but I'm gonna tell you this right now: if them guys get settled in the zone and they get settled in different places on the field, man, they could definitely make it for a hard day. So, and then you got the rookie that's gonna play also. But what up with your boss, Cowboy? Man, I seen you blurping in, man.
What's up, man?
Hey.
So you rocking a Hot Boys hat?
Shoot, man, I'm hot boy the F out tonight, bro. I got the D-Law. I got the Hot Boy hat that was given to me. I got the original. You know what I'm saying? This is the original D-Law sweater. You know what I'm saying? I'm all hot boy the F out. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they talking about it's going to be one defense. It's going to be another defense. And it's them hot boys, man. And I'm going to tell you, man. I'm going to tell you, bruh. My boys is due for one, bro. Like, they due for one, bro. They due for one. They due for one. And why not now, bruh? Why not now? Why not against Tom Brady, who in real life is lightweight declining? Now, Boss Cowboy, I know it's people be like, what you mean, Boss Cowboy, that West Coast, he declining. Well, I mean, he on the low, Tom Brady right now is having statistically one of the least involved or least statistic seasons that he's had in the last like 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about Tom Brady for a little bit and Tom Brady versus these hot boys and Tom Brady declining and everything about it, man. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, because, I said that yesterday, man. I got a lot of comments on it. Like, people was like, but Brady's a winner and he's a 6-time Super Bowl champion and this and that and the other. Look, only thing I can judge is what we actually really seeing. And, he has a pedigree of winning, but at the same time, you can't deny that his production is down. And so it's almost like, Ali had obviously a great resume of winning, but when he faced Holmes, he was over the hill. Obviously, a younger Muhammad mops him up, but Father Time is undefeated. And we watching Father Time put his hands on Tom Brady. So when you seeing that, the numbers saying that, your eyes are saying that, you must attack him as if it's that reality. Like, one of the worst things I would say we could do is to treat him as if he is the old barn burner. He's not that anymore. So with that, I think we should take it as an opportunity versus looking at him like he's something to be afraid of. At this point, that's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, in this game, look at the I'm going to talk about the defense. We played the Steelers defense. He played the Dolphins defense. He played the Bills defense, the Redskins defense, Giants, Jets, Browns. He did lose to the Ravens and the Eagles defense. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just be real. If the Dallas Cowboys beat the Jets, in which we all know that wouldn't happen twice on another Sunday, but if the Dallas Cowboys beat the Jets, they literally beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other teams that we've beaten already. Because we beat the Dolphins, we beat the Redskins, we beat the Giants. We beat the Giants twice, right?
Yep.
So that technically they have 5 of their wins are our wins, and they're not out of their 9. And then think about this: the other wins are Jets, Browns, Bills, and Steelers. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, if you're telling me, and I'm not even saying that, we kind of talked about this last night, but I mean, this is definitely going to be the best defense these guys have seen. And I'm going to be honest with you, I definitely believe this is going to be the best group of linebackers, and this is going to be the best group of core that Tom Brady's seen all season, man. Because the Jets, when they played the Jets, if I'm not mistaken, C.J. Mosley didn't play. And the Ravens, I'm sorry, the Ravens are known for offensive paralysis. Man, people are still scoring on them. And I ain't gonna lie to you, when I was watching that Ravens game, I might have came up with a way to beat them. I'm just saying. I might have came up with an idea. Might have something to do with what they did to Cam Newton in that one Super Bowl when he thought he was gonna run all over the place. And they offset those linebackers. And right when he took off, Von Miller was like, "Hi, Cam." Hey, that changed everything. But I'm not saying we're not talking about Baltimore. When it's Baltimore's time, we'll talk about Baltimore. But I'm just saying, boss. I think I might have came up with a way. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But just saying back to what we was talking about. Yeah, I mean they got five of the same teams we beat. I mean if we beat the Jets, it's 6 out of 9. Like come on, it's 3 teams, and those 3 additional teams would be the Bills who we got next week. You know what I'm saying? So I think honestly, the media is making this out to be bigger than what it is. I think why? Because of the records, obviously. You know what I'm saying? You have a 9-1 team versus 6-4. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna make for some good football. But I think if this is at a neutral site, I think Vegas and a lot of people will be giving the Dallas Cowboys a little bit more credit than that they were. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't really, there is an allure about playing in New England. But I'm gonna be honest with you. If you have to ask me right now, which is harder to play in New England or which is harder to play in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Where Atlanta was averaging damn near 34 points a game. Or what's going to be harder for my hot boys to go into New Orleans, where them dudes are just ridiculous at home, no matter who the quarterback is. And they hold them dudes to 13 points, hold Atlanta to 19 points. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm hot boyed the F out, man. Like, because we have the type of defense that can go into a game, go into a big game situation, and put their throat on you. I just need them to do it. That's it, man. Michael Bennett, you're coming home. They didn't want you. Slap somebody. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because this game is going to be a test of the theory of Jimmy Johnson. Oh. Jimmy Johnson had a famous quote. His quote was, "Give me Jimmys and Joes over X's and O's." That's going to be tested. I'm actually strongly starting to really side with Jimmy Johnson on this one. I just really think the Dallas Cowboys is just too much in terms of athletes for them. And I don't think they're going to be able to scheme their way out of it. I don't think they just have enough. I really don't. And when I looked at especially when I looked at the Ravens game, that was not a good Lamar Jackson that won that game. If you really look at that game closely, Lamar was not solid, really more so but his running. He was not solid throwing the ball at all. His decision-making was not good, and he was very late on reads, very late. So when I look at the maturity of Dak at year 4 versus Lamar at year 2, don't fool yourself like Lamar's better than Dak right now, because he's not. I'm being all the way honest with you. Yes, you see the electricity. He hit the X button, in the spin move with the O button, and he can take off on you. But in terms of throwing the football and anticipation and preparedness, being in the same offense, is that. So the more that I look at this, I mean, I'm going out on a limb and just saying that I think we're going to beat them at least by 10. I mean, especially if we go with a smart game plan. I just don't see them handling us. And the more I look at it, the more I'm starting to lean back on having a mixed approach on our offense. Like one of the worst things we could do, like I do want us to run the ball, but I think one of the worst things we should do is run a lot on first down. I think that's where we need to change it up. I don't think the approach should be run on first down. I think we should do a lot of misdirection on first down, run on second down, at some point kind of surprised them with Zeke. Because when I was looking at the Florida Ravens game, they wasn't pounding New England. They was using Ingram more so off of misdirection.
You know what else they were doing too? that the Dallas Cowboys got to make sure we stay on top of too, bro. They were not taking forever to call plays. They were doing play on top of play on top of play on top of play. You know what I'm saying? Like they were right. Like I think you mentioned that too the other day. Yesterday you said that you think that I think it was like no. You're saying like no. I don't think you mentioned it on the show, but you were mentioning on a conversation about no huddle and like keeping that ball moving. You know what I'm saying? So she wants you to talk about that a little bit, man, because I know the Baltimore, they use that a lot, like especially in between the first down and the second down. Going from first down to second down, you could almost tell that the Baltimore Ravens knew what their play was going to be. And I'm going to be honest with you, man, that's when you have secure, like when you're able to do that, that's when, like when you play, like I always put everything to Madden, you know what I'm saying? Because you know when you play Madden, you be playing, you be like, yeah, I'm about to hit this play, then I'm going to hit that play after. Why? Because you already know that first down play going to work. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like sometimes the Dallas Cowboys, like they'll run a play, see if it work, and then they'll go to the whole playbook. Okay, so 3rd and 6, this is what we got. Like, no, we should be some of this stuff should be scripted. Why? Because you should be able to go into a game confident knowing that what you're calling is working. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see some, like you were saying, I do want to see some no huddle, and I do want to see them let Dak make some calls on the go. You know what I'm saying? Let this dude beat. I mean, you can't allow a guy who is currently leading the NFL in one of the biggest statistics in the NFL, and that yards. That is, yards mean what? If you were a running back and you led the NFL in yards, they would be saying you're the best running back in the NFL. But if you do it as a quarterback, they won't say that. I know it's weird. I just thought about that right now too. I do it myself. You know what I'm saying? That's weird, right, boss?
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
How can a wide receiver lead the NFL in yards and be considered the best wide receiver in the NFL? How can a running back lead the league in yards and get paid 90? I know that's not nothing to do with the money. I hate bringing up money. Lord forgive me, slap myself for even bringing it up. But how does that happen, boss? How does that stop? How does Dak lead that stack and not be considered one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL? How is that possible?
I mean, when you look at the Dallas Cowboys, it's always about propaganda when it comes down to the Dallas Cowboys because it's business. At the end of the day, there's always going to be a bad guy on the Dallas Cowboys, even if that bad guy is a good guy. So it's going to be a lot of creative narratives on all of our best players because we have such a big fan base and we have just as big or bigger a critique base or what I would call a hater base.
Oh, so, hater base. Hater base.
Yeah, because if you're in any sports groups, you can tell who the most hated group is in your sports group. It's always going to be the Dallas Cowboys, so they're going to manufacture drama to kind of play both sides. They want us to watch as fans, and they want our haters to watch as advocates, not advocates, as rivals. I would say that. So yeah, that's the reason why you see so much fabrication, and I'm actually writing about that in the article that I'm just getting ready to release because the name of it is Ezekiel Elliott washed up. You know, and it's only in Dallas would we say a running back with no training count pacing 1,332 yards is washed up.
That's crazy.
It's only in Dallas would you hear that, and it's only in Dallas would we even give that thought. That's like crazy. When you see any running back pacing 1,332 yards in an offense that's transitioning obviously to a pass-first offense, you should be happy.
Hey, think about this, boss, because sometimes you be using it. Because see, boss went to the University of Houston, so he be using. I went to a little college out here. You know what I'm saying, a little college out here, but they use bigger words out there in Texas. And what he's saying is he averaging 1,300 yards in a season where the quarterback has more throwing yards than anybody else in the league. I wonder how many times has that ever happened?
Right. With no training camp.
Like, imagine if Zeke was to lead the league in rushing, right? You would have the leading rusher and passer all on the same team.
That's not going to happen. Like, in my article, I'm going to go ahead and give some of it away. I basically analogize it to two Lamborghinis.
Oh, I love Lamborghinis.
Two Lamborghinis.
I love Lamborghinis. Oh.
Ezekiel Elliott was the Lamborghini to our team. But Dak has transformed himself into a second Lamborghini. That's it. That's all that happened. We now have two ways to beat you. But because you drive off on the Dak Lamborghini, doesn't make the Ezekiel Elliott Lamborghini less as valuable. But it's going to still sit in the garage. And the more you drive one, the less you're going to drive the other. But that should be a good thing, especially if you're thinking long term. Right?
Because Lamborghinis aren't everyday cars.
Then you want them to be used as pleasure vehicles. Yeah. You don't want them to and from work. You don't want.
Gallardo is though.
You say what?
I said the Gallardo is though. The Gallardo you can drive that every day.
Yeah, but you don't want to drive a Lamborghini every day. You want to pull that out for pleasure moments, right? Mm-hmm. We was taking a Lamborghini and we was driving it every day. Now we got a new contract on this Lamborghini, and some of us are saying, let's drive it the same way we used to drive it. I actually don't want that.
Drive it like a rental.
Yeah, I want us to drive Lamborghini when we have to drive it.
Hey, boss, right? How we be driving them rentals in Dallas? How West Coast be driving them rentals?
Bro, I never want to ride with you.
Hey. Hey, it's not my fault. It's Texas Street. There ain't no reason to have a freeway on side of the street, on side of another street. That don't my GPS in California be like literally my GPS said what the hell one time. It just said what the hell. Like I give up. Like this is ridiculous. Like my GPS be doing this. Like I ain't never seen the GPS do this. Texas man, it's crazy, bruh.
Yeah, but that's all that's really happening. Well, we got to be as fans is we can't fall for the national media propaganda because they go have a bad guy. Remember, they was calling Dez declined in 2016 when he made the Pro Bowl.
Cloud have mercy.
Because it's always gonna be a bad guy. They said Dak, and they said over and over, Dak cannot win games with his arm. Well, what is 14 game-winning drives?
It's moving that ball, man. That's winning them games.
Because you sure not running the ball on game-winning drives. On game-winning drives, you have to what?
You got to throw the ball, but I mean, he was still running. He was, Dak was. He got 21 rushing touchdowns, so he was still running. I mean, either way.
I'm saying on the game-winning drives, they were saying Dak couldn't do what he already accomplished 14 times. So his actual production did not match the media narrative. But a lot of us off that Kool-Aid. It's like, and I remember I was talking to a local, some local media guys. I was watching them on radio say that Dak cannot carry a team with his arm. And, would you pay Dak Prescott this money when you know he can't carry you with his arm? Then they got right offline, and I say, I just want to ask you a question real quick. I say, isn't 14 game-winning drives the definition of carrying a team with his arm? Because they don't win those games if he don't throw that ball well on the last drive. He said, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Got right back on air and start lying. Because it's really not about truth. It's about money, media, what's going to cause us to listen. It's not about what's true with us. So if you don't sit back and analyze what's being said about Zeke, Dak, Cooper, even Dez, they'll lead you down the wrong road, and then you'll be beating the ground saying you're right about something you just straight wrong at.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, I just say it like this. When people used to say Dak can't beat you with arm, what I really hear is Dak can't beat you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what they were really saying under their breath is, Dak can't beat you himself. Like, he can't go out there and win you a game because – all these quarterbacks, man, you're going to have to, and if you're down, that means you're probably getting pressured. That means you're going to have to be moving around. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason why you're down. You know what I'm saying? So, and usually that's because they're getting home to the quarterback. So, I mean, and I don't think it's a bad thing to even take it away. Like, to say that Dak has to beat you with his arm is limiting him as a person because that's just not what he is. It's like what LeBron say, I am more than an athlete. Well, Dak Prescott got a shirt to say, I am more than an arm. Like, bro, he got a whole bottom half of his body that's built pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not looking, but I'm just saying. He got 21 freaking rushing touchdowns. That tells me that the dude can run. So it's like Dak shouldn't be required just to beat you with his arm. Why? Because Brett Favre didn't do it. John Elway didn't do it. They had pretty damn good careers. Freaking Dan Marino, he ain't never won the big one, but guess what? He had a pretty good damn career. Shoot, Tony Romo never won the big one, but guess what? He had a pretty dang good career. Like, none of these dudes really just beat you. Nobody is just beating you with the arm. This is not baseball. You know what I'm saying? Like, in football, you're going to throw passes and guys are going to run them in the end zone. Like, I just don't think that, it's just crazy, I think, because if Dak was maybe like in the AFC or maybe, in the NFC, it by itself is a hard conference within itself. Like, it's a hard conference. Like, look at these teams that they play. Jets, NFC, AFC, Steelers, AFC, Dolphins, AFC, Bills, AFC, Redskins, NFC, Giants, NFC, Jets, AFC, Browns, AFC, Ravens, AFC, Eagles, NFC. You know what I'm saying? So the AFC, let's just be real. Like, the AFC, you have the top feeder teams and you have everybody else. Man, everywhere you go in the NFC is somebody's gonna give you action. That's why I didn't even want to trip too hard on that Detroit game, because I'm like, bro, road games are hard in the NFC. It's hard to go on the road and beat somebody in their house, especially in the NFC where everybody play defense. Everybody play defense in the NFC. You know what I'm saying? And especially at their mama house. Ain't nobody about to let you just come in their house and put your foot on their feet, on their couch. Hell no, you can't do that in my house. You're going to let them do it at somebody else's house. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why I was so ready to move on to that game. But at the same time, I definitely feel that this defense is definitely going to try to protect their couch. But at the same time, it's not going to go through Tom Brady. Like, Tom Brady is not going to be the guy that beats you unless you allow him to get you in a position where he beats you. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, that team that he had when they played Atlanta, that's not the same team that they playing with tonight. That team that they played against Atlanta was a throwing-based team, and they were explosive. They just was dead coming out. You know what I'm saying? But they was letting that thing go. That's not the same team now. Tom Brady like 6th in yards right now. 6th or 7th. You know what I'm saying? Like 2,000 something. You know what I'm saying? But, I just don't, it's not going to be Tom Brady that's going to beat you. You know what I'm saying? But I know this, man. I'm asking for my hot boys. The exact same thing Michael Strahan said when they beat him in the Super Bowl is, man, Tom Brady old, and old people don't like getting up. You know what I'm saying? So, man, you need to hit him every play. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think that the Dallas Cowboys, man, I still go back to this, man. I feel more confident about this game than I do that Saints game. In the Saints game, we was playing at home. And I ain't gonna lie, I was gassing like a mug. Because on paper, I was like, I have no clue if we're gonna be able to stop this 36 points they about to bring in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real points. Even if they don't do good, they'll get, 30? They're like, god dang. You know what I'm saying? We was only averaging 21 at the time. So I'm like, where we going from 21 to 36? Where we gonna add? Where we gonna make up them 18 points almost? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I sold it like a mug, and y'all bought it like a mug, and my boys went out there and beat their butts, man, and we've been hot boys ever since. Let's go.
And man, and one thing we got to be careful of. See, West Coast made an analogy, and he's been saying it for the last 3 months. He's been saying, this is kind of a little bit off topic, but it's relative. He said, we need to stop treating Dak Prescott like he that ugly girl that can't get no date for the prom. No, Prescott is real fine. You know what I mean? And not saying that in a no homo way, but I'm just saying. It analogizing him to a woman, he all that, got everything, right? And if y'all ain't noticed, Bill Belichick just gave him a real big wink and a kiss today. Sure did. Y'all need to go back and look at what he said about Dak Prescott. If you don't think he was shooting his shot at Dak, you crazy. Because that's one thing Bill Belichick never does. He never goes out his way to praise a quarterback. And he praised the hell out of Dak today, bro. And the only reason he did that, because he's basically sending a message. Dallas, slip if you want to. I'm looking at your quarterback, and I think he's majorly fine and a fit. As soon as we get rid of Tom, I'm looking at him. So y'all can take this into franchise tag mode if you want to. But I think he can do everything. And what did he say today, West Coast? What can he not do? What? And that came from the GOAT. So, yeah, let's just keep on acting like Dak is just average and like all the stupid stuff we say. Yeah, it's a whole lot of teams starting to shoot their shot at our quarterback. They starting to, hey, what's up? How you doing? What's your name? Dak? Okay, we got a place over here. We're not going to treat you like Dallas. We would have signed you, sweetheart. You ain't got to put up with that over there.
Yeah, man. All right, before we switch over to this first offense versus first defense, let me read some of these comments in the comment box. Rodney says, if we get Bennett to help keep the middle tightened up in tighten up in some and get the corners to point, we should be able to hold Edelman and Sanu in check. I mean, that's a good point, man. But that's a good point. And adding to that, you know what I'm saying, Bennett is going to be good on the inside simply because we got to make sure we deter that run, man. Because these guys, I think they're going to believe that they can run because White is balling, man. But White is a little baller, man. And to be honest with you, offensively, if I was the New England Patriots, I would switch my offense to go through him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing I think the Patriots should do. Like, their offense should be going because he's like Alvin Kamara-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like, ish. I'm going to say that. Ish.
Yeah. And when I look at their production, James White, his 37 attempts rushing is actually average. And his yardage is average. But his catching is above average.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they should run the offense through him. Like,
yeah, I heard you saying, and I'm just saying in terms of there's a signal when you look at how they're used, right? So 48 receptions, 120 yards mean that they usually like to leak balls out to him.
Yep.
That's what the production says. If you look at Sony Michel, it's the opposite. He's the battering ram. He has 154 running attempts with 515 yards, but only 9 receptions and 74 passing yards. So it's almost like an indication of the game plan based on who they're using. Yep. So if they come out there with Sony, that means that they're pounding us. If they come out there with James White, they're going to use a lot of misdirection and screens on us.
Might get the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to really hand it off to him a lot. They're going to more so throw it to him a lot, which is why you can see that their offense haven't been explosive because it's really kind of showing major indicators just in the usage. So if you see that package, you almost really know what to expect. They really want to mention in the running game. The only person that's a real threat, because right now they came out and report and said Philip Dorsett got a concussion, receiver. That's going to lead in with N'Keal Harry, a rookie coming on the second game. And they saying Mohamed Sanu is questionable with an ankle. So that really leaves them with the running game and Edelman. Mm-hmm. They are really not. And then you got a declining quarterback. More than likely, you have a declining quarterback. And when you look at them closely, you can see why they've been in a panic at trying to get weapons.
Yeah, and also it also kind of reveals who primarily their offense is going to go through. It's when it's going down the field past the linebackers, probably going to be Edelman, and if it's before the linebackers, it's probably going to be your boy White.
Yep, and if it's Sony, that really, if they come out with Sony, what they're saying is we think that your middle is soft and we're getting ready to attack it.
And they come out with White, that's why. Go ahead.
And they're going to do it the whole game, and so one of the things that to me tells a lot about New England is they're number one in first quarter points. So it's hard to kind of say what does that mean unless you really give it thought.
That's huge.
Well, in the first quarter, what are most teams really doing?
Just trying to figure. Well, I mean, shoot, you
the scripts.
Score. Like, I mean,
and they're coming out with a script. Usually it's a script because there's really no flow of the game. So you're going to come out with just kind of like your ideal plays based on what you kind of think their weaknesses are. That tells me they're the best at breaking down a team weakness, and they're usually right on their first diagnosis. That's what that's saying. Yeah, when they go in against your defense if they identify a weakness, they're good at executing it. That's what that means. To be number one in first quarter offense means when they come out with their script is right. So if New England was a doctor and they diagnosed you, that doctor is usually good at saying what's wrong the first time and giving you the proper treatment. That's exactly what you can say about New England. So that tells you in a lot of ways how to kind of counter them back, in my opinion, right? So to me, that means that don't show your normal looks. Because if you show your normal looks and you try to show them, you got to come out different. Because if you come out the same, they're going to be extremely ready for what you've done in the past. That's what that's saying to me. You see what I'm saying, West Coast? So if you don't come out with major curveballs early, so let's just throw out something. Let's say if you don't usually blitz LVE, this would be the game to do. Because if you don't and if you sit them back like you usually do, they gonna know how to attack LVE. And if I'm New England, that's who I'm targeting. That's exactly who I'm targeting. I'm targeting him. I would, that would be my primary target. Would be LVE with the mismatch of James White and Sonny Michel. I would be targeting him. So it would be in our best interest if we did a lot of different things with our linebackers, because we know under a set base defense that we're going to normally run and rush for. They're going to be ready for it, and they usually successfully attack our weakness. So that would be one of the major game plans that I would have on our defense. If we got to come out way different than our norm, just to give them a look that they're not ready for.
Yeah, I mean, the major thing with the New England Patriots is, man, like, you got to understand that they're going to do their freaking homework, man.
Yeah, man.
So it's like, if Kellen Moore, if you got some plays, some good offensive plays that you ain't ran, especially something that helps with the run. Why? Because the run is their weakness. Like, if we could show them some different looks in the run game, that is going to be phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Because they're already weak at stopping the run. So they're scheming to see what they can stop. But, I mean, that's why I think that this is going to be a game that you want to see a lot. You want to see some Tony Pollard and Zeke on the field at the same time. Why? Because we don't really see it much. So there ain't much. There is no film on it. And then you implement Tony P with his great catch. Because, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you right now. If we're throwing the ball, I want to be throwing the ball to Tony P. Why? Because he's more wide receiverish. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? Zeke got good hands, though. But, I mean, as far as breaking a play and taking it to the house on a big play, you know what I'm saying? I want to see Tony P on it. But, I mean, at the same time, when it comes to running that ball between the trenches, because that's our identity, you want that ball to be in Zeke's hand. But at some point, I want them to not be able to even know, because, you know, if you put both these guys on the field, I don't want to be that predictable, because I'm going to be honest with you, man. You know, if you don't have a good quarterback, that's pretty damn predictable to say that one guy has 100 rushing attempts but has 6 catches, and then another guy has 35 rushing attempts but has X amount of passing. That's a big telltale, you know what I'm saying, for a team that knows what the hell they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So and to be honest with you, don't be surprised if they try to switch that up and try to use some James White on the inside. Why? Because it's so obvious that they like to just try to throw the ball to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But our offense, our first team offense, matches up against this defense better than any team, I think, in the NFL that's going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, if the win isn't a factor and Dak is able to still throw the ball, I mean, I think this is going to make for a very, very interesting game. But my prediction still, you know, I'm probably even going to make a video about a kicker. But I think my kicker is going to be very important in this game, man. So I think it's going to be your kicker that's going to keep this game in range. Why? Because you have two teams like the Dallas Cowboys on paper should be explosive. We should put up, you know, 45, 35, 40 points, you know what I'm saying? But that's not what's happening. In New England, I don't think they really have the capability to put up points like that. You know what I'm saying? So it actually helps. It actually works out really, really good for them that their defense gets them so many opportunities. Like, think about this. Their defense is averaging 2.5 turnovers a game. Like, you don't even got to be a really good offensive team to beat teams with 2 extra possessions. Like, god dang. That's like 1 extra possession. You know, there's only 3 quarters. And so imagine if you got, let's say you just rounded off to 3. Imagine if you got 1 extra possession each quarter and you scored on at least 1 or 2. That's 14. That's 7 extra 4 points that you ain't never had. So, I mean, that's something else that we're going to talk about, too. We're going to try to talk about, you know, is making sure that these Dallas Cowboys understand that this is that game that it's uber-duber important for the Dallas Cowboys to maintain that turnover. You know what I'm saying? To keep that, to win that turnover ratio. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Boss Cowboy?
I mean, if we get 2 turnovers this game, we win it easy. If they get 2 turnovers this game, it's going to be a dogfight. So, both teams should be concentrating on turnovers this game, like, for sure. And another thing I want to say about the Ravens game that I noticed is that they used a lot of 12 personnel. And they was taking their tight ends and putting them in the backfield for lead blockers. A lot. So it's not even enough to just run the ball. It's about running the ball in the system that was also effective for what worked on film. Because I looked at Philly run the ball, they run the ball like we run the ball. They was running out of 12, but they didn't have the tight ends in the backfield for lead blockers. they obviously had them off the edge. And it was helping New England actually make a lot of plays on the run, you know. So if we're going to actually copy the Ravens, we need to all the way copy the Ravens. So running is not just enough. It's also running in a system that put them in a disadvantage. And they was killing New England by having lead blockers as well. So it's like you need to dust off. I forgot the fullback name and how to pronounce his name. You know, you said better than me.
Jamez Alawale.
Jamez Alawale. They need to dust him off and say, man, this is the game you're going to have to get out there. This is a game we also would have needed Keith Smith a little while ago. I mean, really, Keith Smith would have been a perfect fit for this game because they was getting destroyed off lead blockers. And the lead blockers, again, if you just go watch the tape for the Ravens, it was their tight ends and a lot of 12 personnel, and they was literally putting all game both of the tight ends in the backfield. It was never two running backs and lead blockers.
Yeah, man. I don't really think they really signed Jamez for that, though, to be honest with you, man, because everything, when they brought over Jamez, everything that they were talking about was his catching ability. And I was like, man, I could give a dang if my tight end, if my fullback could catch. I could care less. You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, like that's how I knew Rod Smith wasn't gonna be a good tight end, a good fullback, because when his first interview as being a fullback, trying out for a fullback, he was talking about how many touches he was gonna get. Like, nah, bro, the only thing I want to hear from my fullback's mouth is how you gonna knock people out, bruh. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And bruh, and our fullback is, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think somebody had an ideal of us throwing the ball to it. That just makes no sense. Like, why? Even if you are gonna throw the ball, why wouldn't you want to put Tony P there? Like, I'm not gonna put Jamez in there to catch the ball when I can put Tony P and Zeke on the field at the same time.
Yeah, and that good point, because that was gonna be my next thought too. Because you know another way you can do that. It ain't gonna sound sexy. A lot of people ain't gonna want to hear this. But a good change up will be having Zeke as a lead blocker. I mean that too. Because at least you know he got the will and the heart and the skill to do it. Like, if you got to have a play to get it done, I've witnessed Zeke do that. He's unselfish to do that, and he's very good at it.
Yeah, but if I need a play and it has to be done, I'm giving the ball to Zeke. I'm not giving the ball.
And I'm just saying in terms of scheme, what worked with the Ravens. Like, when I looked at what really opened up Ingram, it was lead blockers. And like you said, an excellent point. If we try to mimic a scheme, we got to put the personnel out there that can actually execute it. And like you said, when they were talking about Jamez Alawale, it's always been about his pass catching ability, and not as much as his ability to actually be nasty as a lead blocker like Keith Smith was. So, I mean, that would be the change up and the misdirection that can kind of catch them off guard. And another thing, Tony Pollard with a good lead block has the speed to take it to the house. Because two big runs behind lead blockers, like 50-yard runs. If that's Pollard, that's touchdowns because he way faster than Ingram. You know, I mean, and it's a way to kind of use them, because I would hate for us to go in there like Philly, because another mistake I saw just watching the film is Wentz was taking a lot of throws that was dumb throws. He should have took what was given to him, because he had a lot of leak out opportunities as well.
He was trying to win the game on every throw.
Yeah, and he had leak out opportunities where if you dump it off to your athletes, right, like maybe Sanders, you can get some chunks, right? Mm-hmm. And he wasn't doing it. Like, he was making bad decisions with the football. So that's why I'm saying I do want us to go after them with a run attack, but it's other ways I believe that we can attack them that doesn't have to be smashing into their walls.
Yeah, and I mean Wentz in his production on last Sunday, it kind of showed me why there's rumors that like his specialty players don't like him, because the only person he is looking for is Zach Ertz. That's why when they were like, you know, somebody asked me, well, you know, they were talking. I remember when they were talking about trading him, or not even talking about it was rumor. I was like, I actually thought it was a good idea, because I thought it'd probably make Carson Wentz a better quarterback, right? Because right now he is so just minded on Zach Ertz, it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just like. I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? He's all pro tight end. But god dang, bro, you also got some other guys who can catch the ball pretty damn good too. You know what I'm saying? But hey, we're not talking about that. But we are going to talk about this. One of our last subjects we're going to talk about before we get out of here, man, is we're going to talk about, you know, because we have somewhat of a tight end battle right now going on too. And that is between a guy who, I don't want to keep saying the Hall of Famer, because I think when you say the Hall of Famer, Jason Witten, and I already said it already automatically eliminates one Blake Jarwin. But let's talk about a little Jarwin versus Witten, man. And who do we feel it should be a better matchup this Sunday in New England, man? I mean, I'll let you. I'll go ahead and let you start on it, man. What's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, and you heard me say that the last 2 days, that to me the best matchup against this linebacker group, because they run a 3-4. And a 3-4 mean they're going to use 3 down linemen and they're going to use 4 linebackers, right? So in their base defense, you're going to be more likely facing linebackers, but every now and then they do run a 4-3 look, especially when they're trying to stop the run, right? And that's where they had appearance of 4 down linemen, but it's actually not. It's a linebacker that's coming up there to play the end, right? So this is a game to where your matchups are important, especially you're going to automatically have a linebacker on a base defense versus your base offense, and you want those mismatches on the field. And when you have linebackers on the field, that more than likely increase your chances of a mismatch if you have the right personnel. So that's why you saw, in my opinion, Ernst killing them. If you watch the Philly game, the person that was consistently winning was Ernst.
Yep.
Almost when he wanted to, right? It was almost automatic. It's because he's an athletic, vertical threat tight end. It's the exact same thing with Blake Jarwin. And I'm going to read something that came from Marcus Marshall. Marshall, hopefully I said his name right. But if you look at the Jason Witten routes that was run this year, up to this point, he's run 259 routes, right? So that means it was a pass play. Blake Jarwin only ran 103. But the number of 20-yard receptions, Jason Witten only has 2. Blake Jarwin has 6, with about a third less of opportunities than Witten.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So that means if you give him more opportunities, you also going to get probably more chunk plays out of him. There's no way you can look at Jarwin on the field at all and not see the massive difference in yards after catch and separating from linebackers.
Hey,
now,
think about this, boss. That means numbers wise, every 20 catches, every 20 receptions, he makes a big play.
Yeah,
every 100 for Jason Witten.
Yeah. And this game is actually not a match for Witten. This game, those guys are like all pro caliber. So they're going to actually give Witten a harder time. So it's almost like you crippling Dak by keeping Witten on the field because you know it favors their linebackers. If you want to put their linebackers in an unfavorable position, you need to go with a more athletic tight end. That helps everybody. So this is what I talked about before. A lot of times the Dallas Cowboys like to put their foot on the gas and the brake. If they don't have Jarwin out there a majority of snaps, that's all gas and some brakes. That's going to make it very hard on a very disciplined defense. So if it's going to be the philosophy that I said at first that should win this game, you first got to do the philosophy. And the philosophy of Jimmy Johnson is I'd rather have Jims and Joes over X's and O's. If you have Witten over Jarwin, you just took out your Jimmys and Joes advantage, and you gave the X's and O's and Jimmys and Joes advantage back to New England. I think Jarwin is the biggest athletic fit that we need to really get these boys problems.
Yeah, man. And, I mean, you got to remember, Blake Jarwin is a guy who played his college days as a wide receiver. So he's not just a fast tight end. He's a guy who's a wide receiver that converted to a tight end. So he's supposed to be athletic.
Yeah, he's athletic.
He's supposed to be. Like, there aren't very many true tight ends in the NFL left anyway. Jason Witten's one of them. You know what I'm saying? The reason being is because these linebackers are just way too fast.
Right.
You're just a slow guy catching the football.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When the linebackers got faster, the tight ends had to get faster. You know what I'm saying?
Well said.
Like,
Well
it's just,
said.
the tight ends, the linebackers are the reason who did that.
Yep.
And now they're more concerned, they're less concerned. That's why you have teams that have the
Tweeners.
regional traditional tight end, and then you have that other tight end that looks more like a wide receiver. Well, what
Yep.
I asking the Dallas Cowboys is you can have both, but when it's time to go down the field, keep the guy that's like a wide receiver in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like in that
Right.
Minnesota game, I didn't get why we were down 4, I think it was, trying to go down the field and we have tight ends on the field. I didn't get that. Like, keep your speed on the field when you're supposed to need speed. Well, guess what? The same thing with these tight ends, man.
Yep.
So, I mean, in this game, I definitely believe that this is a game where, getting behind those tight ends. I mean, if you put Jason Witten there, Jason Witten is just as fast as these guys. Jarwin is a guy who's faster.
Yep. More athletic.
Yeah. More athletic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's more athletic. No
and
doubt.
In a game, you got to remember, this isn't a game I don't think that you're going to see many 40-yard bombs, 30-yard bombs. So getting the ball in the hands of if you're not getting yak yards in this game, it's almost going to be like dead plays.
Yep.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, the yak yards is really what's going to make this game. Why?
Yeah.
Because the ball's not going to be thrown far. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't get no yak yards after it, it's going to be like, what, 3rd and 5. And we got, what, 4. And now it's 4th and 1. Like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And Rich Desmond said it. He said, look at the Ravens did. They used 3 tight ends. We need both of them for different reasons. I agree. I agree with that. That's what I saw on film too. They played a lot of tight ends and they attacked with their tight ends. They didn't spread them out. You didn't see a lot of 11 with the Ravens. You saw 12. You saw 13 personnels, 1 running back, 3 tight ends. That's what you saw. So it's one of those things to where we still go out there more than likely. I trust Witten to win, but he's not going to win by much. You know what I mean? He's going to be that guy that he can create small separation on these linebackers, but he's going to make the catch. So we're going to walk downfield slowly with him. But if you want to explode on New England, just like remember when Jarwin made that catch against the Giants and took it for a touchdown, you're not going to ever get that out of Witten. Those days of Witten are so long gone. That's maybe Witten from 10 years ago. You're not going to see that anymore out of Witten. You're going to see a little wiggle, a little separation, sure hands, and foul.
And guess what? And that's okay because they have what's called a possession tight end, just like they have possession wide receivers.
Right. Right. So,
and that's why I said, now I'm not trying to bring it up, but that's why I said that I thought that if Dez Bryant did come back as a speed tight end, I think he'd probably be the best in the NFL at it. That's all I'm saying. Why? Because, man, I know he's better than these. He's better than these lines. Because you got to think like this, man. Dez Bryant's been covered by corners. Bro, a freaking linebacker, like, come on. We know, we both corners. How much time do linebackers really practice on coverage? Not a lot, but not as much as we did. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm just saying, man. That's what I'm just saying, man. Like, the way the game is today, bruh. And Dez know how to block. That's what I'm saying, like. And I don't even want to talk about it. I was talking about it. We both be talking about New England.
Hey, Red said, ain't no battle more like the good old boy system. And he said, tight end battle. Like, nah, bro, like, that's not going to happen. Like, I agree. Now, he raised a good point. It's not on any of our topics, but it's something that we should mention, in my opinion.
It's all good because we're at What's on Your Mind, Scout. So this whole next session is brought to you by the Scouts, man. These questions.
On this one, because nobody's talking about this enough. Our special teams are the worst in the NFL. And in this game, this is a game to where it's going to be a focus on field position and should be. So our return game sucks on kickoff return and punt return. Our kickoff team is suspect. Like, remember how the Giants kept changing field on us with a washed-up returner?
Well, our kick return ain't bad. They just don't get opportunities. They only had like 3 opportunities. They returned one pretty damn good. The other one, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Not trying to speak up for Tony P, but I know what happened in that kickoff return when you ain't being used and you want to make a play and you're right there, and you're like, that ball looks short. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. And then your gunner in front of you says, don't take it. And you're like, man, F that. I'm taking this. That's what happened. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And
like,
he
boss,
was-
you ever did, like, I know, like, come on, boss. You know what I'm talking about. You're like, man, F this. I'm about to show them that I know how to freaking play football. And I'm about to show them that in last year in college, I tied the NCAA record. So I'm going to be honest with you, boss. I love bringing up that special teams. You want to know why? Because with that win, and the way that wind's going to be blowing, Tony P should have action. He should have action at some kicks.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah. Yeah. I can't fault that one. You know, I think he was thirsty on that when he broke out of there, because he's supposed to listen to
Awale.
He's supposed to, like, that's how I know we was trained at U of H. Is he's the one that tell you whether to come out or not. And when he told him no, and he was taking off anyway, that was a sign.
He had already decided in his mind that he was taking it.
That I'm not gonna listen to you. But then when he saw him, it's on film that he told you no. So by the time they would have got back, it would have been all his fault. So it was him on that one. But your point is true, especially coming from the Minnesota game where he didn't get a lot of touches. I think he was to make plays, right, and really anxious to show what he can do. So, but yeah, they have to get like Tony Pollard involved on special teams as well. And I think he right that our special teams are poor. And that's something to me in the off season that's going to also have to be addressed. I would, if the season ended today, it would be 2 coaching changes for sure, sub coaches that I would demand: special teams and linebackers.
Well, you know the special teams coach is new because, and you know what's funny? Both of those guys are new because our special team coach, that was the real good one, the one from 2 years ago. He coach in Oakland right now. He left year before last.
Right.
And then Eberflus left last year, and he in Indianapolis.
Right.
So you basically have 2 brand new coaches that aren't doing well. I mean, you got to see it like this: the Dallas Cowboys basically changed out their entire coaching staff. You got a new offensive coordinator over the last 2 years. Think about this: you got a new offensive coordinator, new quarterbacks coach, new linebackers coach, new DBs coach. You got a new O-line coach, a new OC, and a new quarterback coach.
Yeah. Now check this out.
All in 3 years.
So check this out.
And you got a new wide receiver coach. Forgot about that.
Yeah, and so check this out from Marcus Marshall again. With 28 in punt return average, 28 in net punt return average, 29th in field goal percentage, 30 in opposing kickoff return average, 31 in gross punt average, 32nd in kickoff return average, and 32nd in blocked kicks. We're not top 2 in any category.
Top 2, we ain't top 10.
Top 2. We can't get, well, I mean, we top 4, I mean, in punt return average, but still, when you bottom at everything, yeah, that coach need to go. Because it's like I said this, and, follow me on this, everybody. This is how Boss Cowboys go always judge talent. If the group is bad, I look at the coach. If the individual is bad, I look at the individual. So there's too many stats that show that the group of linebackers have regressed. And there's too much data that shows that the group, special teams group, is bad. So, like, it's 2 right now that will be easy, low-hanging fruit. Because to your point, they were promoted more so based on other people taking jobs. By default. So they default promotions. They wasn't people that you went outside, looked at their, the data and looked at their special teams leadership data and said, what's your philosophies on special teams, and kind of let them, teach you how they coached and all that kind of stuff. No, you just kind of promoted these guys like Colombo. But see, Colombo ended up working.
Yeah,
right?
you also got to remember Colombo has superior talent on the offensive line, and to Paul Alexander's We gave up the same. We actually gave up more sacks under Colombo in the second half of the season, but nobody cares about to hear about that. Bro.
Yeah, nobody cares about truth right now. It's
It was a good point though. I'm just saying it was honest. I couldn't be like, yeah, I know. What actually happened is we actually gave up more sacks. Because remember the Atlanta Falcons game?
True, no, I ain't fighting your truth, bro. When you kick in the nose on the truth, I'm gonna rock with you. This is where I give Colombo.
Not the Atlanta Falcons game. I'm sorry, the New Orleans Saints game. We give up 7 sacks in the New Orleans Saints. You know why? Nobody remembers the New Orleans Saints game? Because we won. That's why. We gave up 7. Dak got sacked 7 times after we fired the offensive line coach.
Yeah. So check this out.
So nobody remembered it.
This is where I give Colombo a pass. Because you see growth in Liel's game. Right? If he was a bad coach, you don't see the growth and massive growth in Liel Collins' game. The offseason that Liel had fully is totally different in his production into 2019 than it was in 2018. People literally said the day of the draft, this is going to be Liel's last year over us drafting McGovern. And nobody blinked at it. If you said that now, you would get massive kicks to your face by this fan base because of the play of Liel. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things to where, and I'm looking at how we playing better as a unit on Pass Pro. We're way better on Pass Pro this year than we was last year. So Colombo, I'm cool. But special teams, linebacker coach, deuce.
Yeah, and something I just also something to talk about too is that on the pass pro, this offensive line is playing out lights out, but on the running game they're not. And you know what's funny? That's how it was last year. Last year everybody was like, "Oh, this offensive line is still great." I'm like, it's still the greatest offensive line. Why? Because Zeke had 1,400 yards. I'm like, bruh, did you not see your quarterback get dropped 56 times? Like, he got literally dropped 56 times. Tony Romo never got sacked more than 27 times in his career in one season. Dak got dropped 56 times last year. And people want to say, well, behind that line, what are you talking about? What line are you talking about? 56 sacks? Stop it right now. And now I'm gonna be honest with you, it's the reverse now. Now we're not giving up sacks, but guess what? Them holes are not what they used to be.
Yeah.
And not even think about this. Everybody thinks that an offensive lineman's job is to open hole. No, that's not their job. Your job as an offensive line is to climb to the second level. Is to escort this young man to the linebacker. That's your job. Because if you're just opening a hole, then guess what? Guess what's going to happen? The linebacker's going to fill that hole. You know what I'm saying? They have plays that are designed for them to get them to the second level. Like, he's supposed to get escorted to the second level. Like, these are his security. Okay, now you're at the linebacker. Hey, how you have a nice game? Go do what you want to go do now. Like, that's what your offensive line is supposed to be doing. And I don't see a lot of escortation to the linebackers. You know what I'm saying? What I see is a Zeke doing a lot of spin moves in the backfield, trying to make a dollar out of 15 cents. That's why I laugh at people when they say, "Oh, we need to bench Zeke and we need to put Tony Pollard in." I'm like, okay, well, instead of getting 2 yards, you're gonna get -4. Like, congratulations. Like, I don't see how people can think that the best running back, so since it's the best running back in the league can't do it, that Tony, no. And to be honest with you, what have you seen Tony be more effective in the run game or in the pass game?
Yeah, and a lot of that's over money, man. Everybody's opinion of Zeke changed once he got money.
Yeah, because now he had to be perfect.
Yeah, and it's like, look, first of all, the money's spent, so it's no use of crying about it now, right?
And it was spent well. The dude is still averaging 13. Like, Boss Cowboy, how many running backs consecutively 4 years have gotten you 1,300 yards, bro?
Yeah, I don't get the anger at all.
Not many.
And it's one of those things that what the money is spent. So it's almost like those people that say, if we would have put Romo in 2016, we would have won a Super Bowl. It's like, it's already done. So it's like still, crying over spilled milk does nothing for 2019. He's paid, okay? He's paid. And I would rather have Zeke all day as the leader of the running back room than Tony Pollard and Weber. I mean, at least right now, for sure. And I like the current way that we using him. I like the fact that we saying we are a 21st century team that's going to lead through Dak's arm. But guess what? We got a Lambo in the backfield, right? If you get out of line, we go hit you with that Lambo. But now this Lambo go last. We're not going to run it into the ground. We're not going to keep running it into walls every first down. Now we can let it sit back and be pretty and block for the other Lamborghini, and we going to win games. Now, he might not get 100 yards, but we going to dominate games. So, and if we need to pound it, we know we can pound it.
Yeah.
I wonder, can we use Tony Pollard like this? No, with Zeke that you can pound that rock. Once we got a secured win, you can go right to him, bro. So it's like I'm not for all the bitching and crying on Zeke. I don't even want to hear it, like, at all. It's like, stop. I don't even care if he lost a half a step. He's still a damn good running back and paid for. So it's just enough of all this crying about it. It's like, you're not going to cry money back into the cap. It's not going to happen, So might as well just celebrate your Lamborghini. Just enjoy it. It's yours. Enjoy it.
Yeah, we got some people says, E. Kush says, yeah, he did. He got 65 sacks last year, almost broke a team record, which is true. Hidri says, is Zeke trouble finding holes, the offensive line, or opposing defense playing the run and stacking the box? I don't think that Zeke has a problem finding the holes. I think they're, I kind of alluded to that right now. You have different types of plays. You have some plays that are designed to get your running back to the second level. You have some plays that are designed just for him to get into the hole. But, this offensive line has to be better at helping him get to the second level of the defense. Like, that's part of their job. I mean, and when you go back to 2016, that's what made this offensive line so much better. That it wasn't just about, could they make holes? It was about we could make a hole and get you to the second level. Because once you get on the second level, then what do you see? You get Zeke back to where he was when he was at Ohio State, and it's just him trying to be the safety. And Zeke in a safety race, flat foot, Zeke running. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think the Dallas Cowboys just got to, focus on doing that. And also, 2016, we didn't have a lot of movement on our offensive line. Like, I think it would probably be a really good stat to kind of go back to see how many consecutive games we've had the exact same 5 guys playing on the exact same offensive line at any given time. Because I don't think it's been very much. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And if you don't think that means anything, go ask the defensive coordinator what they do when they see a new guy on the offensive line. What do they say? Pause. We're going over there now. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what they do. I mean, you get what I mean, Boss Cowboy? Like, got a rookie up, we're going over there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think you were talking about that as far as the New England Patriots having a rookie offensive lineman on theirs and how you thought the Dallas Cowboys were going to take advantage of that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a very good thing that Isaiah Wynn is now named the starting left tackle. This is going to be his first pro game, bro.
And who is he going to be playing against?
Quinn.
Who is he going to be playing against?
Quinn.
So your first NFL game protecting Tom Brady's backside is against who?
Yeah, Quinn. Yeah. And Isaiah Wynn, he was outstanding as a prospect. Outstanding. He was more of a reach for the first round, I would say. He was a top second round grade easily. And he killed a Senior Bowl. He was nasty. He didn't lose not one battle. But this the league. You ain't going against prospective draftees. No. You're going against Quinn, the mighty Quinn, who hungry, right? And you coming off a bum knee. And it's your first game? Yeah, that's an advantage Dallas. So, and when you look at all the athletes across the board, athletically, we definitely got the Jimmys and Joes over them. It's just that we just have to have a very common sense approach game plan. If we go at them West Coast with this old run Zeke on first down, run Zeke on second down, it's going to be a hard game. But if we come at them on misdirection, jet sweeps, bootlegs, play action, dump offs, because the dump off was up and all day with Sanders versus Philly, and they didn't take it, right? If we come at them with misdirection and basically with this philosophy, West Coast, tell me what you think it is. We don't care how we get 5. We're looking to get 5 on first down. We don't care how we do it. It don't have to be a run. If we can dump it out to a tight end and get that 5, we can run a quick out to a receiver and get that 5. We can run a slant and get it. We don't care. But we're going to do it in different ways. Just different ways to move those chains other than the normal stuff Zeke approach. And then occasionally we going to run at you on first down. But not that's the main sandwich, I would say, the main steak. If we come at New England like that, they're going to expect it and they're going to do real good against it.
I mean, shoot. Obviously, I love that game plan. I talked about that in my video today. In my video yesterday. Like, I love that game plan. Like, unfortunately, as good as New England is, like, this was actually, like, a fairly easy game to scout. Like, I'm actually kind of thinking, like, what the hell am I going to talk about tomorrow? Because, I told Boss, hey, Boss, we said this yesterday. I was like, bro, like, remember I said, I was like, bro, I was so excited for this game. And then I started watching film on them. And it was so obvious on how to beat these dudes that I was like, bro, remember I told you, what did I say? I said, bro, I'm done. Like, I'm done. Remember what I said? I was like, bro, I'm done. Like, I was like, we can get on there and kind of talk about the same thing over again, but I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like, there ain't much really to say. Like, everything that's said is that needs to be done. They just need to happen. Like, the Dallas Cowboys did their, because we have the talent to beat this team.
Yeah, we got the talent.
We have the talent to beat this team.
Jimmy's and Joe's,
athletes, yes. And to be honest with you, we are the more athletic team.
Yep.
And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying?
And the better quarterback.
Yeah, and we have the better quarterback.
Yeah.
If you just say, I know people are saying, oh my God, Dak is not a better quarterback than Tom Brady. In his career, maybe not. But this Sunday, he probably will be.
Yes.
If you had to bet, you would probably want to put your money on Dak.
That's not crazy at all to say. If you say playing, who's playing better?
Who's playing better right now? Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott is playing better. Who, like you said, who has the better career? Oh, that's easily Brady. But I'm looking at what's going to happen Sunday. And so I'm not going to walk into Sunday with this and thinking that we're going against Superman when we looking at Clark Kent. I'm sorry. That's Clark Kent over there. And I'm going to treat him like Clark Kent. I'm not going to fall under this nostalgia and beat myself because I'm afraid of him. I'm going to look at his disadvantages and I'm going to attack him from his disadvantages. Just period. I think that's how we should approach it, And right now, across the board, pretty much, we are a better team. We just got to play better chess with our pieces.
Absolutely. All right, so shoot, man. We've been on here about an hour and 30 minutes, man. Boss Cowboy, let them know where they can find you at, man.
Boss Cowboy Sports, man. Look out for my article, man. It's already written. I already pretty much put the bells and whistles on it. And I already kind of gave a little bit about it away, but I didn't give away all of it. But it's asking the question, is Zeke washed up? And it's going to answer it, right? And I think after it's answered, we should basically put it to bed and don't worry about it no more. We have 6 years with Zeke, and we're going to be driving that car less. It's just because we got a new Lamborghini, and the Lamborghini is that. So you can only drive one.
Mm-hmm.
And when you drive one, you're not going to drive the other. It's impossible to say we're going to be a run-first team, run-first offense, but expect 300 yards a game from Dak. It's also just as foolish then to say we're going to lead through Dak on and let him throw on first down more, but expect every week 100 yards from Zeke. Is we're going to have to pick one. And that's it. But we have 2 Lambos. As long as we think like that, we won't fall for the tricks of the media, and we won't, stay offended at stuff we should be happy about. We literally got 2 Lambos in the garage. Just be happy.
Yeah. Hey, and the only difference is one is completely paid off, and the other one is we're just sitting there deciding if we're going to keep it, even though we drive it every day. It's real. But hey, you already know what it is, man. It is your boy. It's your boy. It's your Cowboy cousin West Coast, man. We're going to see y'all tomorrow, man, with some more content. I know, man. I feel like it's taking forever for this game to get here, man. Tomorrow's just Thursday. Well, actually, tomorrow is going by pretty fast because tomorrow's Thursday, and we already back in the saddle. So who play tomorrow? I don't know. Who cares? I know we play Sunday morning, 10 out here. So you already know what it is, man. Never look down because the stars up. Peace.